YNW Melly pull the trigger?
Men are in jail this morning, including an up-and-coming Florida rapper. Both men are charged in a double murder. Police are saying the two staged a crime scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting.
YNW Melly is currently facing time behind bars and is being charged with a double murder, but according to the up-and-coming rap star, he is innocent. Today at Lime Report, we'll be revealing all the proof gathered up by police against YNW Melly, one detail at a time, so be sure to watch until the end. You don't want to miss a thing. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment keyword proof to win our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. 19-year-old rap star YNW Melly has recently had many fans across the world worried. Melly is currently facing 2 first-degree murder charges and could possibly be facing up to life in prison. Well, first he has to be proven guilty. Many think that the young rapper is innocent, but nobody truly knows yet. Stay tuned and pay close attention as we explain all the evidence gathered up against Melly in this case. YNW Melly's case is actually very tricky and will be very tough to get to the bottom of. The young star claims he's innocent, but workers of the law are working hard at proving him guilty. Many pieces of evidence have been gathered up of the case, considering Melly and his friend YNW Bortland drove both the victims' bodies to the hospital. But it seems Melly is still yet to be proven guilty. Not to mention, that left a big piece of evidence in Melly's story for the police to investigate, considering the car that was driven to the hospital was parked right outside the hospital. Police immediately got to work and collected any piece of evidence they could. The issue with this case is YNW Melly and his friend YNW Bortland said they took part in a drive-by, and that's why there are bullet holes in the car. They claim that's how their other 2 friends got shot. But after doing some investigation, workers of the law believe YNW Melly and Bortland set up their 2 friends and made it look like a drive-by. Now, on to the evidence that was gathered up. Well, there are obviously many pieces of evidence that made the police think Melly and Bortland set up their 2 friends. To start off with, one of the victims was wounded in the back of the head, not to mention Melly was sitting in the back seat. With that being said, it sparked the thought that maybe Melly is the true murderer. This thought has brought this case a long ways, and workers of the law are fighting hard to get to the bottom of it. Melly's trial date will be coming soon, but he doesn't seem to be worried. The up-and-coming rap star still claims that he is innocent and has paid for some of the best lawyers around to fight his case for him. The point is, that one piece of evidence isn't enough to prove Melly guilty, besides the police having evidence that he was sitting in the back seat, and that's why his friend was hit in the back of the head. Melly and his lawyers will easily be able to fight that statement by claiming the front seat passenger was frightened from the bursting sounds, so he turned around and ducked down before being wounded in the back of the head. Just this part of the case will take tons of work to solve. Stay tuned as this becomes very interesting. After police did some more investigating in the vehicle, things began falling together. They gathered a lot of evidence and built a huge case. They have video evidence, phone records, and an autopsy report, which led officers to believe that the shots came from the left rear passenger side. And it just so happens that's where Melly was sitting. Now, Melly claims the bullet came from the right side of the car, which is outside, but the wound is on the left side of the victim's head. Not to mention, police reportedly found a .40 caliber shell casing inside the vehicle. Melly was recently in court on March 5, 2019, and he pled not guilty. The young star and his team are fighting hard to win this case. Unfortunately for him, he is still being held behind bars and will have to wait to see if he beats the case at his up-and-coming trial date. At this point, Melly was arrested and can be looking at charges that carry a possible death sentence. It's hard to believe YNW Melly would do such a thing. The up-and-coming rap star was very talented and gained a huge fan base in such a small time. He was working with rap stars as big as Kanye West. They even collaborated on a hit single called Mixed Personalities and gained 30 million views on YouTube. Unfortunately for Melly, he hasn't been able to enjoy the celebrity lifestyle recently. His case has only been getting bigger and bigger, and that's not even all the evidence that's against Melly. Officers are convinced that Melly and Bortland are guilty. They even claim that the 2 drove around with the bodies as they tried to devise a cover-up plan. It seems workers of the law have been working hard and gathering up as much evidence as they can to prove YNW Melly and Bortland guilty. Well, that's not even all the evidence they've got. Stay tuned as this gets very interesting. Investigators have gotten a hold of YNW Melly's Snapchat messages, and it's not looking good for the up-and-coming rap star. They claimed that the messages seemed to reference his involvement in the murders. One pair of the messages that made the investigators suspicious says, "Henry saved my life. He coming everywhere with me," he wrote to his then-girlfriend only weeks after the incident happened. He then said, "I keep Bortland with me because at the end of the day, he did one of the realest bleep in my life." With that other piece of evidence being found against Melly and Bortland, it seems the pair are in some pretty deep trouble. Although it's not determined that they're guilty, they are both currently locked up in Broward County Jail as they await trial. Like we mentioned earlier, this case is very tricky, considering Melly and Bortland won't admit to any of these charges and claim they are innocent. But workers of the law are working hard to get down to the bottom of it. YNW Melly has seriously impacted the rap game strongly and has been the hot topic recently. His hit song, "Murder on My Mind," has over 100 million views on YouTube and has his name blowing up. Ever since he got locked up for this big case, his music streams have increased heavily. As if his Kanye West collaboration wasn't enough clout for his name, he is now being recognized everywhere, considering most information from his case being leaked to the media. It's only a matter of time until the truth of this tricky case is revealed. Then we'll know truly, is YNW Melly guilty, or will he be released from prison and innocent? Here at the Lime Report, we think this will be a very interesting case. Officers are working awfully hard to prove Melly guilty, not to mention that all the evidence they've gathered up can definitely be argued against in the court of law. As a matter of fact, Melly and his team can put up a good fight and possibly win it. Don't forget, everything that Melly is locked up for right now happened years ago, so obviously nobody thought that Melly did it at the time because it took all those years of work and putting together pieces of the puzzle